Happy Thursday, everyone. Welcome back. Very excited about today's episode.
Oh, yes, we are announcing. Some of you may already know this because I know it's already probably gone around a lot by now, but announcing what gender I am having, which is super exciting.
Yeah, that's like the first thing that we want to get out of the way because we're so excited to say. We did a little poll on Instagram. It was like literally 50-50.
Very close, which I'm like, maybe that's just always how it is. Like,
I know.
It's either a boy or a girl.
But sometimes like you can just see someone being, I think people you weren't like, oh, definitely boy mom, definitely girl mom vibes.
And it's the first, so it's like
I was like fully boy like the whole time. And so I think I assumed like everyone else, like I kind of assumed that like the boy would win.
But then there was quite a few girls too.
The girl actually kind of won by like a few votes.
Yeah.
So
it was fun to like kind of look through and see what people who people were guessing. Yeah, what gender. Anyway, so should I just announce what we're having?
Yes.
I thought about bringing in the little piece of clothing, but I'm like, most people probably aren't watching it. They're probably listening to it. But we are having a little girl.
Yay!
Which is so, I feel like, surprising to everyone.
I am like still shocked. So
yeah.
The whole time, like whenever we would talk about a baby or whatever, or like, the baby will be here then, like picturing next year.
Yeah.
I would always be picturing like a little boy. Even though I was like, okay, subconsciously, I guess. And I was like, is this like my intuition? I've never really trusted it. But I was like, this is my sister. Maybe I do have strong intuition. I've never been right. But
yeah, it just seemed, and I feel like we just like from early on in pregnancy would just like refer to it as a boy or like him or he. Yeah. And it's like, of course it could have been a girl. It just seemed more likely like it was probably going to be a boy. So then when it was a girl, it was just like, oh my word. It's very exciting. Like obviously it's our first kid, and obviously as a girl, it sounds really fun to have a little girl, especially
to do all the girly
especially
things.
as like the first and stuff, and first time mothering and all that. Yeah,
very fun. So like this is kind of when we're recording this, kind of fresh. I just found out last night we did a gender reveal party, which we can get into. All of that. Wait, should we do our drinks first, and then we can get into like you finding out and everything?
Yes. Okay, so I made. No, this did not turn out like I thought it would. This is like Viola lemonade with like those little. Is it violets or violas? I think they're violas.
Viola?
There's two different things.
I'm gonna go grab mine.
But anyway, that they just grow like wild this time of the year in your lawn. We have a ton at our house. And it's supposed to turn this really cool like purpley pink color. And so I did like film all this. Like we'll like post a little reel about it that was kind of shows, I guess how to make it. There was like a little bit of a chemical reaction you'll see where it turns pink once you add like the acidity of the lemons to the viola juice. But it was not dramatic, and by the time I diluted it with water, like the lemonade, it's like basically the color of lemonade. So this particular, I think it's this particular recipe, it just didn't turn it a color. So if you make it, maybe, I was looking at another recipe, I think other people do it different ways, and you could probably get more color out that way. But anyway, we can try it. I've already tried it. Yeah. I think it does have a little bit of a flower taste.
Yeah, there's like a hint of floral in it. That's really good.
But I feel like the part of it is that it makes that cool color. But yeah, you'll see in the reel, like it does turn a little bit pink.
That's fun.
But then by the time, it's diluted, it's not really anymore. But yeah, it's kind of a fun thing to do. It'd probably be a super fun project to do with kids. Just because of the chemical reaction.
Yeah, it could be a little science
with the color.
experiment.
Yeah, like a fun little spring thing to do. So I'm sure by the time this comes out, they'll still be in people's yards, but maybe not.
Yeah, that's kind of fun. I was thinking we have tons of dandelions. And I was like, I wonder if there's something that I could make, like a drink I could make with dandelions. I see like tea, but I'm also like, are mine safe? Have they been sprayed at all? I don't know. Like we haven't sprayed them, but
probably if you haven't sprayed them and you've lived here like a whole year or whatever, then I'm sure they're safe. It's not like,
if you like wash them.
Yes. I know you can do stuff with dandelion leaves. I don't know about the heads.
Okay. I guess I can like look into it. I mean, I don't know, but it is fun to like make things. I know you did like the lilac lemonade.
Yes, I want to do that again whenever we have them.
We have a recipe of that on Instagram too. So
I might make that again for one of our sister sips and then repost that.
Kind of forage around your backyard and make a fun little drink with what you have.
Or just like if they're edible flowers, they're just really pretty, obviously, to use in food and drinks or like whatever.
A dessert or something. Yeah. And it is like, are you kind of hot? It like feels like hot in here. It's like
nice.
It's a warm day, so like having lemonade is like super refreshing.
Yeah, I love lemonade.
Yeah. Okay. So should we just finish talking about the whole gender reveal and then we can get into more of the life updates? So tell us about like when you went to the ultrasound to get your anatomy scan 2 days ago. Yeah, tell us about all of that.
So 2 days ago we got the anatomy scan. I was 22 weeks, so I feel like I had to wait a little bit longer than normal because normally I feel like you can get them at like 19 or 20 weeks. But just with scheduling and stuff, it had to be 22 weeks. But it was kind of like I had already waited so long to find out the gender since I found out when I was like only 3 weeks along. So it's like, I've already waited this long. I guess I'll just keep waiting.
It built the anticipation so much. I was like, oh my word, I can't believe this is like finally happening.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. Anyway, it was, so it was crazy that morning. I woke up and I was like, I guess we were just like assuming it was a boy a lot of the time. And I think for like a little bit, I thought maybe it was a girl, but I don't feel like I had like strong intuition that it was.
I wonder, do you think there have been a lot of people like in our lives that have been saying like they think it's a boy? So do you think like everyone speaking into that like affects like?
I think I just assumed it probably was going to be a boy because like I think I had imagined us having a boy first, probably. Yeah. Like, oh, it sounds fun to have a little boy, and like that's what like one of our close friends, their first kid, they had their first kid, and it's a little boy, and so like that's like kind of like the only kid I'm used to being around. Yeah. A decent amount of time. Like it's like I'm the youngest, and we weren't really around any of like our cousins growing up when they were like that much when they were little. Mm-hmm. So like that's like the most like kid interaction I probably had. Yeah. And yeah, a lot of people thought it was a boy too, it seemed like. So yeah, so I remember asking Oliver that morning, I was like, will you still be, I'm like, what if it's a girl or something? And he said something like, oh, I'd still be super happy. Yeah. And I knew he would make a good, like, of course he probably would have said boy. Yeah. And I probably would have said girl because it's like, it's your first. Of course, it just sounds fun to have like the gender that you are. Mm-hmm. So anyway, we go and get our ultrasound done that afternoon. And we just told the ultrasound tech, like, we don't like just to put it in an envelope because we didn't want to find out like right in the session, like when they're like checking everything out. So she just had us close our eyes like when she was checking down there to make sure everything was good and, finding the gender and all that. And yeah, I was kind of afraid, like, what if she accidentally slips up and like says what it is? Yeah. Thankfully, Oliver was there with me, which was fun just from I was just glad that he was there, especially in case she would have slipped it up because I would have been so disappointed if like she accidentally said, oh, he or she, and then like Oliver wasn't even there and then I just found out by myself.
Yeah, that would have been annoying.
So then we finished up that. Everything was good with the anatomy scan and we went and sat in the lobby area while she like finished like I guess putting the gender in an envelope and finishing up some stuff, and then she brought the envelope out to us. Then we walked to the parking lot to our car, and then it was like, okay, like we're gonna find out now. And
did you have like butterflies?
I don't even remember. I'm sure I did. I feel like I don't know if I had more butterflies going into the appointment or after the appointment before we found out. Like I don't know. And I had Oliver open the envelope because I didn't want to. I don't know. I don't like doing stuff like that.
It was like too much anticipation.
Yeah. Then he opened it and pulled it out and like, opened up the picture. Of course, the picture is like a picture of what your gender is. Yeah. You could definitely tell. And then it said on there. And then, yes, Oliver opened it and he was like, what did he say? I'm trying to remember exactly how it went. But he was like, it's a girl or something. Like, looked over. I'm like, what? Like, just so surprised. We were both like, if it's a girl, we're going to be really surprised. If it's a boy, like, it'll be like, oh, it's a boy.
Like, that's what we figured.
And I was just like, oh, my word, I'm going to cry. And so I just started crying. Oh. It was just, like, kind of, like, not me at all.
I know.
And then we just, like, hugged each other. I'm pretty sure Oliver had tears in his eyes, too. It was just, like, such a special moment that we got to just find out. Just us two. Yeah. And then I had to drive him back to work because he just kind of did it over a long lunch break. So we didn't, like, get to talk about it that much. Mm-hmm. And then the afternoon, we were both really excited. It was fun to see him when he came back from work, and he was feeling kind of emotional about it being a girl.
Do you feel
like I'm not surprised at all? I'm like, I knew that he'd be so happy with the girl.
He'll be such a good girl dad.
Oh, like, yeah, for sure.
Do you feel like finding out the gender like kind of made it more like real or make you feel more like connected to your baby?
Yeah, I think especially because it's the opposite gender than what we were thinking. Because I feel like it'd be like he. Now I'm like, okay, and I was like, oh, she's kicking.
Like it was kind of unexpected.
Yeah, so like it almost feels weird to switch it to she now. Mm-hmm. And so now I think, it does feel even more real. Even like with the baby name, we had like a boy and a girl name. Well, now that we know it's a girl, I'm like, are we for sure going to use that name? Like, I don't know. Like, maybe we'll start looking at some more options now that we have it like narrowed down to the gender. But it was also so fun because like most of the family, we had a gender reveal party last night. I guess we'll talk about that a little bit. I made cupcakes and then filled one cupcake with the color, like the frosting, pink or blue. I think you gave me that idea. It was really fun instead of doing like all the cupcakes. So then everyone took a cupcake, all the family did, and just one cupcake actually had the color in it. So like everyone took a turn biting into it to see like who got the color. Fortunately, we videoed it. Kenslie
oh my word, I'm so annoyed.
It's okay. Like it's not, I know.
It would have been so fun to share.
I know. She videoed it, and it took to the very last person at the end of the line until they got the cupcake.
Which was not planned. Like, you didn't try to make it that way.
It was like everyone grabbed a cupcake, and then we just, like, started at this end, and then everyone took turns taking a bite and seeing if they had the color. Then, of course, it was, like, the very last person who had the one with the color, and the camera, like, cut off right then.
I didn't realize my memory card was full. I didn't think to check. I just checked the battery. I didn't think about the memory card. And I was, like, watching the video, and her brother-in-law, Finn, he was the last one. And it was, like, just as he was like taking a bite, and we're all like, oh, and then it was like, it ends.
I was like, of course.
And everyone's reaction was so shocked because most of us, there was only 2 people there who were wearing
everyone
pink.
Was thinking like, everyone was thinking it was a boy, and that honestly made it so much more fun for the gender reveal too, because it was like fun to do a gender reveal party for family. I just wasn't like so excited about it necessarily.
Like you probably could have done without
before finding out. I was like, okay, and I think it was something Oliver really wanted to do, and I know of course the family like enjoyed doing, like wanted us to do one too. But then when we found out the gender, and especially since it was a girl, then it was like, okay, I'm so excited to tell the family because they're all going to be so surprised. Like that made it so much more fun.
Because I think if it would have been a boy, everyone would have been like, oh my word, like I knew.
Like some people thought it was women. It's like, it was so fun because I'm like, I know everyone's going to be like, it's going to be like shocked. That like, oh my word, it's a girl. Yeah
It was very fun. And I cannot wait to have a girl up. And I was telling Keegan on the way when we were discussing, I was like I'm committed. I'm going full boy. I'm committed with my guess. But I was like, I guess with a girl it would be kind of fun, like just in the future. Like I know like it's fun for me to like chat with my aunts and stuff, and like especially even as I've gotten older. But and I'm like, it'd be kind of like as a girl, like be more like be more a part of their life, maybe and like And Keegan's like, she can talk to you about boys.
That'll probably be a long time away.
We'll see. But yeah, it was just kind of a fun thought.
I know, even for me, I was telling Oliver this, I think, on the drive home from the appointment. Like, it was just so special that it was a girl, because I haven't grown up around kids a lot. And I'm not like a big like kid person. And so, like, it's just fun that for my first, like, it's going to be a girl. Like, I feel like maybe this isn't true, but it almost seems like instantly that bond might be, like, a tad more natural because it's a little girl.
That makes sense.
I mean, I definitely think obviously it would have came with a boy, too. But it just was, like, it felt a little bit extra special, like, being the first. Yeah. And, like, my first time, like, learning how to be a mom, and it's a little girl.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And it's just kind of like, you know how a girl, how girls think.
And just, like, all the fun little girl clothes and accessories.
Very, very fun.
Should we get into our life updates a little bit now that we have
the
gender told?
I can share. I don't have a ton. One of them, like your update would be the same, is that we did a family trip to Texas. It was like a big family trip with all of my mom's side of the family. So there was like, I don't even know how many of us there were.
Quite a few,
Lots of kids. I mean, a lot of them are kind of growing up now, but it was like really fun. We had this house like right by the beach, and it was like, I have never seen like a beach like this. It was kind of very private. It was a little bit more like in the country, I guess I would say, whereas like we weren't like in town like a lot of beaches.
It's very like it wasn't like a Florida beach, I guess, in that way.
It was a little bit more remote. And so like it was one that like people would come down to camp, but like we pretty much had a whole beach to ourselves.
There was not a lot of people there at all,
and it was really nice.
It was so pretty.
And it was so fun, except for the traveling experience. I feel like,
oh my word, I totally forgot about that. I guess you can share all about it because you had a bad both ways.
I have never, like, I usually, like, enjoy flying. I would choose to fly over driving. This made me almost, like, never want to fly again.
Yeah, I do not. It is so nice to fly, but I cannot stand long airport days.
Yeah. And especially, you pay for what you get with airlines. Yeah. Just saying that. So we ended up, it worked out better for us to do, like, 2 one-ways. So we flew, like, a nicer airline. I don't know if this really matters with the story.
You and Keegan.
Yeah. There, and then a different airline back. But on the way there, our flight got delayed to the point where we were going to miss our connection. So we ended up, the only way to get there the day that we wanted to and not have to go the next day was to fly out of a different airport. So we left our car at a different airport. We knew we were going to have to drive the hour and a half there, but we were like, whatever, we're on vacation. We'll worry about that later.
And your flight home was going to your original airport. So it wasn't like you were flying back to that same airport.
No. So we were going to have to drive an hour and a half to go get our car. But our flight home, we were going with you, and, like, we were actually flying with some people, so we had, like, your car and everything.
Yeah.
So on the way home, it was literally like...
And we were on the same flight together.
We had a connecting flight in Atlanta, so from Houston to Atlanta, and that one kept getting delayed. We were
Once we were already in Atlanta.
Yeah.
We were supposed to fly back home to our airport, at home.
We were flying Frontier, so just keep that whole thought in mind.
Yeah.
No. Frontier is cheap. We like it because it's cheap, but...
Yeah.
And so, it kept getting delayed until it finally got canceled. So we went, and basically the only other option was to fly out the next day, like the next night, like over 24 hours later.
If you were going to be on the same airline and like get it all credited or whatever, or just be able to switch it.
Yeah.
You basically have to wait a full 24 hours. Yeah.
Yeah. Longer than that. I felt like it was like that next evening. Almost.
Yeah. Past 24 hours from the original fly out time. But yeah.
And they wouldn't like credit us any sort of hotel or anything.
No, of course not.
Yeah.
And we were there was also like no rental cars. Like
I don't know what was going on.
Like, cause it's like Atlanta isn't like, what was it? Probably like 7 or 8 hours
from Cincinnati, where we were getting our car.
So we were like, we could just like rent a car and drive home, but you couldn't even find a rental car.
Yeah.
So that wasn't even an option.
We looked at every option. Our aunt and uncle that we were with like Ubered somewhere to try to get a rental car because it said somewhere available. They wasted their money getting that Uber to try. We were basically like stuck.
Yeah.
So we ended up rebooking with American Airlines to go the next day.
At like noon.
So that was just like out of pocket, and we booked a hotel. It was kind of like we got to experience. We didn't really experience Atlanta, but we had like a nice little night.
It was so nice after that long airport day to just go to a hotel room.
Yeah.
Lay in the bed.
Jayla just like hung out with Keegan and I. We got
Yes, I
together.
Well, let me mention why.
Oh yeah. Oliver wasn't there.
So Oliver had like a business conference thing in Texas that same week. So we flew down to Texas together he was with my family for a little bit, but then he ended up having to fly to Dallas for like this convention that was going on for work, and then he just was flying home by himself and with his coworker because he was flying out of Dallas. So yeah, I just flew home without him, with them and our other family members. But yeah, that's why he wasn't there.
Yeah.
But yeah,
like we were just saying we were so glad that you were with us, because that would have been so annoying.
I know.
If
I
you
would
were
have
by
been like
yourself.
flying home by myself. I would have been in tears.
Yeah.
So stressed. Like so overwhelmed. Just like, and I'm like, I would have been mad at Oliver. Even though it's not his fault.
But just like, that he wasn't
just like
there.
That I was there by myself or something. Yeah.
And like he was able to get home. Like he had like a little
his
delay.
Flight still ended up getting delayed, I think, quite a bit. I think, I'm sure, I think other people who were flying around that time experienced a lot of delays too. But at least his was a direct flight. So it was like whenever the flight left, it was definitely,
Yeah. So the next day, we have to fly. We have another layover in D.C., which we got to see a little bit. We saw the Capitol building. We saw the Washington Monument. So, we got a little.
Yeah.
I was like, I feel like we were like all around the country with all of our layovers. Like on the way there, we went to Arizona. Yeah, it was whatever. And so we ended up finally making it back to Cincinnati. like 10 minutes early a little bit.
Yeah, it was like, was it 7 o'clock yet or 6 o'clock?
Yeah.
It was like, okay, that's not bad because we had like a couple hour drive home.
And like Keegan and I still needed to go to the other airport.
Yes.
So we had still a long night ahead of us. We were like, getting here any earlier is
perfect.
Great. So then they were like a little bit backed up with the gates. They were like, it might be another 20 minutes that will just sit tight here. And we were like, you've got to be kidding.
I think I texted you.
Yeah, like of course this would happen.
Yes.
Whatever. 20 minutes goes by. We're not sure what's happening. Just hold tight. What did they say? It would be another
the airport I know is understaffed too, and that was I think a lot of the reason for all this delay.
Anyways,
like American Airlines is understaffed, I think.
Yeah, they ended up getting us to a different gate, but then there was no one there to help us open the gate.
Yeah, so they finally, it was like an hour had passed. It was like, if we finally can pull up to a gate. And it's like, okay, we're finally done. Then we get to the gate, and then there's no, I guess, available person to come and, physically open up this gate for us because this airport was so understaffed. And so then, yeah, they're like, we might have to wait 15 minutes again.
Yeah. And it was pouring rain at this point.
So we couldn't.
Yeah. They were like, we couldn't. They didn't feel safe letting us, take the stairs down or whatever. Everyone, of course, in the plane is, ticked off. Every time the pilot's making an announcement, everyone's, groaning and, really mad. We ended up being on that plane for 2 hours after we landed.
After we landed, just on the ground.
Just sitting there. And till finally she had some guy that had a key or something. And it wasn't even
in
really
the airport tower or something. She called him and he came over in his
in a
van,
minivan.
And came over and drove around and just got it open for us. I don't think that was even his official job or anything.
Yeah. Keegan didn't even end up going and getting our car until the next day because at that point it was so late. But it ended up, it worked out.
It was just comical because you know how it is and you already have a whole, it was already quite the fiasco getting home. And then of course, okay, we finally landed in Cincinnati. Then you have to end up just sitting on the plane.
I know. And it had been a long
time. It seemed so pointless too. It wasn't it's we're literally already here. We just can't get off.
I know. And it'd been so long since you had been with Oliver, so you were
I hadn't seen him for I think almost 4 or 5 days at that point.
And we were thinking we were getting home on a Friday originally, so it was wow, we're gonna have usually you get home from a vacation on a Sunday and it's straight to work, and so it was wow, we're gonna have a couple days to really relax or to kind of settle back in. Wasn't quite the case, but
thankfully we got home on a Saturday still, and we still had a whole day before
we had
week
Sunday
started again.
So anyways, fun trip, not fun traveling.
Yes.
So that was our little fiasco.
There is nothing coming up for a while.
My other one I was just going to update because of our last episode, which is kind of about goals we wanted to make. I don't know how those are going for you. I know one of the ones that I talked about was getting into a morning routine. Mm-hmm. And I feel I finally kind of have a morning routine down. And so I thought I'd discuss. And I want to tell you what my morning routine was before this to kind of compare and contrast. Yeah. Because, So I feel I would set my alarm so that I would have enough time I really prioritize having the time to make a good breakfast for myself. I used to not eat breakfast, but now it's a non-negotiable for me, but that's a whole other thing. But what?
I think we're always
talking about
putting snippets of crunchy things.
I try to allow time for that. I also want to be able to read my Bible. So I usually wake up with enough time, but I wake up and I'm I don't want to get out of bed, so I lay in bed. I immediately get on my phone to wake myself up. Yep. So immediate blue light, endorphins, scrolling. So I'm scrolling until I realize I have just enough time to get up, get dressed, and get ready, and make breakfast and get out the door. So I'm okay, yeah, fine. So I get up, and then I'm I don't have clean socks. I can't find these. I don't know what I'm going to wear today, so I'm looking for something, trying to find everything to fit with an outfit. Where's this sweater? I can't find that anywhere.
Yeah.
So it takes me an extra 15 minutes to try to finally put together my outfit that I thought that would just be a 5-minute thing. Get ready, go into the kitchen, make my breakfast, and then by the time my eggs have been made, everything's been made, it's time to leave. So then I'm like stressed because I didn't have enough time to make breakfast. So I'm like shoveling a little bit in my mouth and then putting the rest into a container to take to work, to finish eating at work. Microwaved eggs are disgusting.
Oh, yeah.
They're always rubbery. They're just not good ever. And so I'm like a couple minutes behind, running into work, hoping that I miss every stoplight.
Yeah.
And then finally making it to work and being just like
stressed.
A little like on edge. Like it's not, so that's not every morning, but that was like not that uncommon. Yeah. Pretty typical. So I kind of realized, I was like, I'm like really not setting myself up very well. I'm like living on stress a little bit, which can just affect your health in a lot of ways. You're just
a bad way to start your day. You're just like already on edge.
So I don't really wake up any earlier. I do like to wake up earlier, but I do really try to get 8 hours of sleep. So if I can get to bed early enough to wake up earlier, I will do that. Yeah. But if not, then I'll still wake up at the same time. But I sometimes do lay in bed for like a few minutes after, just to kind of like wake my brain up. But sometimes I don't need to do that. I go into the kitchen and I'll let the kitties in. They're usually like outside in the sunroom for the night. And I make myself a cup of warm lime water. Oh. I don't know. It's like something people do like warm lemon water. It's like good for digestion and energy. I don't know. It's just kind of like a warm, cozy way to wake up. Yeah. And then I go back to bed. So I think that's why it's easy for me to get up, because I know
you can lay back down pretty soon.
I know that I'm getting back into bed. So it's like I can get up and I'm not just like, I have to get up and then I'm up for the rest of the day. This is just what works for me. I get back into bed and then I do my Bible study and like devotion time in bed. Another thing I will say is that I've set this like filter on my phone that turns my screen like red light.
Oh, I've heard of that.
And I try to put that on. You have to manually I try to put it on. I can put the link of how you do that if you're interested. Yeah. I try to put it on after dark and then turn it on like once I'm up for the day, so I don't I'm not like staring at blue light like while I'm in bed. And not only is it like better for your eyes and everything, it also is just so much less appealing to be on your phone when it literally makes your phone look terrible. Like it's not as entertaining when everything's just like black and red. Yeah. Like your brain doesn't like that, I guess.
Yeah, I can see that.
So, I do my Bible study and then I get up. And another thing that I've been trying to do, I don't do it every night, but like the night before, I lay out everything for my outfit, including socks, underwear, all the things. Yeah. Just so, because sometimes it's those little things that you're like, shoot, like it's not clean. So I know everything's together. And so I already have an outfit. Go get ready. One other thing is I go outside. This is kind of as it's getting warmer. And I spend literally only 2 to 5 minutes just like putting my face to the sun to just like wake myself up, set my circadian rhythm. Yeah. And it also is just kind of like very relaxing and like a nervous system reset. I know that might not be sustainable to do like in the winter. Like at that point, it'd probably still be dark outside in the winter time.
Yeah, that's true.
But I like really want to keep doing that in the summer because it's just really nice. And then I make my breakfast, and usually like I have enough time to eat and get out the door, and it has been like so much less stressful. And I just want to say that like life is stressful enough as it is. There's just a lot of things that are out of your control, but there are things that you can control. That's my little like thing that I've been like realizing, like the little
habits.
Yes. It's the little habits that you can control, and I'm still working on it. Like one thing that I still need to work on is we talk about this every time, but like my cleaning habits could get better, because that's one thing is like walking into a house and it's kind of cluttered, and typically Keegan's like a huge help with that, but he's been yeah, he is, but he's been working on this project which for the past few months, which he's gone most evenings, and so I've done it all by myself, and so it's been a little bit harder to keep up on. And so just I can still work on managing my time a little bit better to keep my house a little bit cleaner, because that makes your life less stressful too. So I'm still figuring it out and still learning, but I think that that's a morning routine is a great place to start, and making your bed every morning is also great. I don't think my bed's made right now, but that's also been one thing that I've tried to do, but sometimes I forget. That's it for all of my life updates, but I just wanted to share about just a little update on creating better habits, because I don't want to just be like, yay, these are nice things to do, and then just not do them. So
I think, honestly, well, I guess I'll mention this as we get on to our topic. But couple life updates for us is obviously finding out the gender, and I guess other one, and I should be taking more pictures because it'll just be fun to see when it's all done. But I feel like you guys probably hear about us doing a lot of home projects a lot. But we're doing another one.
Well, I bet you're just trying to get a lot of them out of the way before baby
we did
comes.
have and it's like our house wasn't. It was a little bit of a fixer-upper when we bought it, and so you just kind of know that you're going to, It wasn't so bad, like we have to re-gut it or anything, but there's just little things we've had to do. But right now, Oliver's redoing our barn. It was just, like, kind of sagging. Like, the roof needed replaced. One of the concrete walls was, like, caving in or out. I forget. Anyway, so that's been a big project. Our house has had, like, a dump truck sitting there for, like, the last about 2 weeks, and it's kind of annoying, like, every time you drive up. But progress is being made. And Oliver taught me how to drive is it a skid steer, Keegan? Is that what Grandpa? Okay. So that's been kind of fun.
Yeah.
Because it's like when it's just me and him. I mean, today he's having his brother help him. But, so he kind of taught me how to drive that. I've been helping him put the truss arches up on the roof. And it's just going to be really fun to see it all come together. So it was quite... I hate to complain too much because I know, like, how blessed we are to have, like, our property and our house. And it's like, of course, there's always things people want to change about their houses. But, like, we're so lucky to have a house. Mm-hmm. But it really was such an eyesore to our property. Yeah. It was, like, it's pretty close to our house, just the color, everything about it.
Did you take a picture of it before?
No, but I bet there's one on, like, Realtor or something. Or I'm sure we have one somewhere.
Yeah.
And... anyway, it's just going to look so crisp and nice when it's, like, nice, like, cream barn with, like, a brown roof versus, like, it was all brown before. I think. And really out just.
When you were telling me, because originally you were planning on just, like, taking it down and, like, completely rebuilding, like, a new one.
We were planning, like, doing, like, what's it called, a pole barn? Yeah.
Yeah. And so, but when you were telling me that you were just kind of going to remodel this one, I kind of thought you were going to, like, leave, like, all the same, like, siding and everything, like, kind of just, like, clean it up a bit and, like, and I was like, okay, that's definitely a lot different than a pole barn. But whenever I went to the gender reveal, I was like, okay, you're tearing a lot down. It needed,
like the walls, like, it had to be fixed.
Yeah.
So it was like, the whole roof, it has to be painted. It'll still be concrete sides, but I don't think it'll look that bad, like, once it's, like, a nice color and stuff.
Yeah. No, it was like, okay, you guys really are, like, you're
not
leaving
fixing
much.
It. We're like, it's like, it's kind of like down to its bare bones, and then,
Yeah, it'll look really
structure nice. And, I'm very impressed with Oliver. How, he's a very good handyman. Is that the right word?
Yeah.
I'm just, like, just today, helping him do, like, the arches or the truss arches. I'm just, like, how do you just, like, know how to do everything? Like, put a new roof on. And, I mean, he watches, like, I feel like just lots of videos, YouTube videos. And I feel like there's just a part that they just kind of, like, can comprehend things better too. I'm just like, how do you know, like, where to screw and, like, these pieces of wood?
I don't even think we've said this is along the same lines as what you're talking about, but I wanted to say what this topic is even about, which you saw in the title, which is, like, building.
We could go ahead and get into it.
Building and creating your dream home, like, on a budget. And I was asking Keegan for suggestions. I was like, can you think of, like, to add any ideas? Can you think of any tips you would have for? And one of his was, like, marry a handyman.
Okay,
I'm like, it might be too late.
I'm just gonna say we're blessed. Yeah, marry a handyman. It helps a lot. Probably just, like, the part of the culture we're raised in. I feel like there is a lot more, like, trades that people work in.
Maybe, yeah.
I don't know. And another big blessing to us is we have family who have, like, tools that we can just like borrow from.
Yeah, I feel like maybe it is our culture, like Anabaptist culture is, like, either your husband has or you, like, know somebody who's in, like, almost every trade.
Yes. Or, like, a friend or an uncle. But even, like, the skid steer and stuff, it's like it's like so helpful when it's like, oh, you just have like a family member who maybe has something that you can borrow.
Yeah,
like
that is a big blessing.
Would make a night and day difference. If you to like rent all these tools, and like we live right beside his parents' house, so Oliver borrows so much stuff from his dad's shop. It's just so like that truly is such a plus.
Yeah. That's true.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, for sure. Knowing how to do things yourself is like instantly going to make any home project cheaper, because I feel like so many projects, like you just pay so much in labor because it's obviously like a skillful thing and time consuming.
We have YouTube. Like we have amazing tools to like be able to teach ourselves a lot of things. So
yeah. Okay, so let's get in. This is what I was going to say. Maybe I've already said this before when you were talking about having a clean house. I honestly feel like one of the best ways that you can have improve your home is to keep it clean. Like literally, if you have a clean house, your house instantly looks nicer. You could have a really nice house, like a really big house that's all modern looking, but as soon as it looks cluttery, it's like overstimulating and it's not that cute anymore inside.
I 100% agree, because as soon as I clean my house and as soon as like I give it a little clean it up and dust a little bit, I'm like, oh, my house is really cute.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I love it.
Yeah.
But you cannot hardly appreciate your house if it's cluttered.
You don't notice like the cute just like decor and stuff as much.
I know, like, I'm not like a mom yet, so like I know it's probably going to get harder, which is another reason why I need to create habits now, because I'm like, it will never be easier than it is now to keep your house clean. And so that's a really good tip.
But I just think that is like a huge thing to focus on, like literally just having a clean house. That's gonna make people just like think of your house. Not that you need to do things to your house so that people think about you having a nice house, but like it's such a welcoming presence too. And it's not, I was just talking to Oliver about this, it's not near as big of a deal to host people if you always just keep your house tidy, clean. I will say,
so true.
I don't even want to say, like, I'm not always that clean. Like, it's like, okay, yeah, the floors could be mopped, this could be dusted. Like, my house is not always like spick and span clean. Something I do prioritize, at least in all like the main areas that you see, is trying to keep it pretty tidy. I'm probably sounds like I'm trying to toot my own horn, and I'm always insecure saying it because people are probably like, I came to your house and it's not. But like, it's just, I feel like it takes such a weight off of your life to just keep tidy more than, I mean, clean is good too, but just like tidying things, like, and that would just make your house seem so much nicer too. But anyway, that was just something I thought of.
That's a good, because there have been times where I'm like, oh, I'm kind of bored, like we should just have somebody over.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I don't really want to because of my house. And I know that you shouldn't, like, your house does not have to be perfect to have people over, but sometimes it is like I could have taken more responsibility to have kept it a little bit nicer.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be perfect to have people over, like you said. I honestly think if you focus more on the clutter more than the cleanliness,
just like
you're gonna notice more of a difference.
Yeah, just like having a nice like open area and like places for people to put things, and
because if you are constantly like dusting and everything, windows are wiped, but there's clutter all over the place, like it's not going to seem clean. But if everything is picked up, like maybe there's a little dust, but like it's
cobwebs, it's like, but it's still like, it seems more of like an inviting space.
Yeah, that's a good tip. I can't wait to declutter as soon as possible after this.
And this is just, I guess this isn't really a tip, this is just like something that is just a good reminder, is realizing that it takes a couple years till you have, like, I shouldn't even say your dream home because you're always probably gonna be fixing things up, but like I think it can take a couple years to really be happy with a space, especially probably if you get married younger like I did and you're kind of like learning your style still. Like, you don't instantly, I maybe already said this on the podcast, I don't feel like you just instantly move into a new home and just like instantly make it cute right away. Like, it'd be really fun to, like, it really does take a couple years, I feel like, to like get a lot of the spaces filled and really like get like a wall or a shelf looking really like how you want it to. I don't know.
That kind of goes, I have a point similar to that, because when I got married, I did not know what my style was at all. And I feel like our apartment, like, it never really came together that great because I didn't really know how to style, and I didn't have a lot of things. And I think that that's okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to immediately be perfect. And I think this is where, like thrifting or slowly collecting things comes in handy. Instead of being like, oh, I moved into a house, I need to immediately decorate it and have it looking great, is slowly throughout the years getting pieces that are a little bit more meaningful.
Yeah.
In that, like, oh, I got that here, I got that there, like a couple years ago. And because you're only going to accumulate more and more stuff throughout your lifetime.
Yeah.
And something along the lines of decluttering, which is kind of more like motivation to like clear out if you are like building up too much stuff, is like for everything you have, you're committing to taking care of it and to storing it. And so like kind of thinking like if you need to like clear out stuff, just being like, is this worth taking up the space that it has for years? Or is this worth like taking care of? Because every single thing you own, you have like chosen to maintenance it, basically. And so you're only going to build up more stuff throughout your life. So like don't be in a rush to get decor. Go to a thrift store and you know,
and it's
find
fun
little
too,
things here and
like
there.
before maybe you're just living in an apartment right now, or you're planning on maybe getting married soon or whatever. Like it's just fun to start collecting stuff, like even before you move into like your certain house, because it is fun to already have some things. And I think especially if it's like thrifted things, it's not that much money, and it's just I feel like I had a good handful of things collected before we got married. Just it was fun to go ahead and have some stuff.
But like it's not like starting at ground zero. Like you want a few things to make it homey, but it doesn't have to be like every little like space is filled.
But also you may have the personality that you like don't really know what your style is yet, so you're just like gathering some like random things. I don't know. And then it's like, okay, like it's probably a little bit more helpful if you like really have an idea in mind of what style you like when you do start collecting things. I'm saying like before you get married or whatever. But like if you don't really have, I feel like certain like you're just getting random. Does that make any sense? Like it's probably not worth collecting stuff if you don't actually have a vision in mind. Is that really bad to say?
No, that makes sense.
Because then I feel like you could end up with just like a bunch of like random stuff that doesn't go together. But also you might like, I don't know. Maybe that was a really bad point.
No, I think that makes sense. I mean, just be mindful or whatever.
Yeah. And I also just think some people like a personality difference. Some people like, there are some people who probably just don't, like that's not something they care about as much. Like having all these cute little things in their home. They're more like just functional and minimalistic style, and that's fine too.
And there's some people who probably like at 13 knew exactly their style and have stuck with it their whole life and have always had like amazing taste and like
like just have that natural like interior design bug in them. This is another one, maybe it's kind of like cheesy, like everyone knows this, but it's like don't do something to your house just because it's trendy right now and you're trying to have a trendy home and it's not even really your style,
and like trying to impress people, like these people would like it, it's gonna fit in more with like this group of people maybe that you want to be with,
or like they all do these cute things to their home. I don't know, it's like it's fun just to see unique styles in people's home. I mean, not that you need to have like, not that you can't like a trendy style, because I feel like we probably all have things in our homes that are definitely trendy, but it is really fun just to see different styles of houses. Just because it's maybe like not a trendy style at all doesn't mean like it's like, oh, your house is kind of like so ugly and outdated.
No, I agree. I have been to a couple people's houses that have decorated and I am like, oh, this is like, it is not my style like at all. But they like, you can tell they put a lot of thought and they put a lot of heart and they put effort. They didn't just like, it doesn't look like Target came and threw up all over their house. Like you can tell that throughout the years, they sometimes like, you know, the grandmas that have like a themed kitchen.
Yeah.
Like it's cute. Like you can tell like somebody's personality from their home. Even if it's not like, oh, I wouldn't do that in my house. But you still really appreciate that there was like heart and thought put into it.
Yeah.
Do you remember that place we went and like did the tea party?
Oh, yes.
Like that's kind of an example.
Yes.
It was like very, very old fashioned, very
had, like,
Victorian.
I think different wallpaper on the houses and stuff, or like, on the different rooms.
I wouldn't maybe do that, but like I just was like, wow, this is cute. Like you can tell like she probably like loves her home and has like put all this like thought into it.
Yeah. But like then again, if you do like the modern style, very trendy things, like, you're allowed to do that. Don't be like, oh, I'm so basic for
like, that's true. That
shopping
could be
at Target and Home Goods and getting all my stuff. Because if that's what you like, then that's what you like.
Yeah,
but don't feel like all this pressure that it needs to always like be up to date, because that might not be your style.
Being vintage can also be a trend too.
Oh yeah,
so I'm not saying that like, oh, I'm not trendy at all, or
I'm
like
so unique for liking to thrift.
But yeah, it's fun to be able to like, really showcase like your personality and your taste with your home. One thing that I have enjoyed doing is refreshing seasonally, but not redecorating seasonally. And so just having a few things like in the spring and summer, for instance, having a few, my house is pretty like earth tones, pretty
more neutrals.
Yeah, more neutrals. But having a few things that just add a pop of color. These do not have to be expensive. Maybe just like switching out like taper candles for like a brightly colored taper
fun,
candle.
Like spring colored ones.
Adding a bouquet of flowers. I have like some fake flowers that are like yellow and purple that I like added. You can't really see up there. But just having a few touches just to switch out like a few things, and
that's not redecorating shelves and all this stuff.
But just doing a few little changes makes it feel like you redecorate. Like you almost get that same like feel or like rush from redecorating. Because it just changes up your space enough, and it makes you excited for whatever season it is. And then I do the same in the fall, and I have just like a few little like pumpkin or like fall themed things that I'll like just get out. And Christmas, it's almost like, but not like totally redecorating and putting up like all different decor.
And I'll just, with that, this is like another like cheap way to elevate your house. I think it's fairly cheap. You can get more expensive ones or cheaper ones, but that's plants. Plants, I feel like, add so much just like this fresh,
like life to your home.
Freshness to an area, and they're not that expensive, and you can usually you can collect cute pots just along the way, or even thrift them. Or I feel like pots are something that aren't hard to come by. Like, you don't need to go and just buy like a cute $15 one from the store. I mean, that's fun to do too, but I feel like it is easy just to accumulate different pots and stuff for plants, or like little dishes at Goodwill. But plants really, like, adding a plant somewhere really, I feel like, elevates an area, and it's not that expensive of a change.
Jayla and I are actually hoping to go to a greenhouse now. So that's a fun little thing to do in the spring, is to like go to a greenhouse, pick out, I want to do like some window boxes, that kind of thing.
There's really easy care plants too. If you're like, oh, I'm not a plant person, like, there's certain ones that you probably shouldn't get then if you're not going to be that great at taking care of them, because I know, like, I can be that same way about some plants. So, but there is some really easy care ones if you know yourself, and you know you're someone who's probably not going to pay a lot of attention to them. Like, there is some ones that like do not need much effort at all. And they are just, they very much elevate a space.
Another one, I don't know if you had this, but this is just like a tool that you can use, which is rub and buff.
Oh yeah.
So if you want to like upgrade some hardware without having to completely replace it, it's a good little quick like fix to just kind of elevate it for very, very cheap. And it looks honestly pretty good. You can just get it on Amazon. I can link it down below, but it's like what, $10
maybe
or less. And it just like, you would probably just want to do it more so with hardware. Instead of something maybe, I don't know, like if you'd want to do it on like a faucet or anything like that.
Yeah, probably not something that I know I did it on a toilet handle, and I feel like it was like I probably touched that too much. But like I think drawer handles and stuff that you're not using like quite like every single, like on the daily all the time. Yeah,
if you like let's say if you have like black handles or silver handles and you want more of like a brass or gold feel, just do those, and then like you can make it look like aged. I don't know. I think it's a really good
to pick from tip. And that definitely is. And one of mine was like painting. Painting can make such a difference to areas too. It's crazy, like some things in our house, how long it took me to paint them. Not even like a certain color. It was just like they were like a really like old crusty white, like, and I was just like, oh, it's like I need to get to just like refreshing it, and like it's not that much to buy paint. You can get cheap paint, and how much is just like, oh my word, why didn't I do that sooner? Like, it looks so nice that I repainted this door, or like this or that. That is such a like if you're painting all the walls in your house, that's obviously a little bit more expensive. But like just certain areas or like maybe a piece of furniture like that can just make it so cute.
Yeah. Do you think I should paint my front door?
Maybe. It is hard because you don't really have a neutral colored house.
Yeah.
So then I'm like, I don't know if you'd want to do a pop of color on your front door.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I know. It's like I could paint some things.
Yeah.
For sure.
But yeah, I mean, you don't always need to just find things to paint, but just like that is something that's like, oh my word, why didn't like something else I need to do is our bookshelf. I'm just gonna paint it white. It's already white, but it's just like it's all like kind of like scuffed up, and just instantly will make it look so much nicer.
And maybe it's probably not the shade of white that you would choose either.
Yeah. It's not horrible. It's just I'm gonna paint the same colors like what our wall color is.
Okay.
We redid our kitchen this last winter. Maybe it was 2 winter. I don't know. And I just want to say, of course it helped because Oliver could do it himself, and that makes such a huge difference. B-board is such, if that's your style, B-board is such a cheap backsplash or something to add. It's definitely trendy right now, I know, but that is like, I really do genuinely like it, and it's so cheap to do. Is B-board the right word?
I think so.
There's different like widths and I think of it that you can do, but like it did not cost us very much at all to put that in as a backsplash, and that is so, I think that's even cheaper than doing like the stick on tiles, and it's obviously very hardy. We did it in our bathroom too, but to me I'm like that is like, I just remember like that is such a cheap backsplash to do to a kitchen.
Yeah, I know, instead of doing like tiles. And maybe someday you'll decide to do like a more expensive tile, but it's a good place to start to
that's the other thing. You don't need, if you're redoing something, I mean, maybe like if I'm redoing it I want the nicest of the nicest, but it's like you can still redo things and like pick cheaper things. Like we did our countertops with, this is maybe if you don't know this and you're looking to redo countertops, it was really hard to find countertops. Like we wanted cheap ones. It was, what's the cheap ones called?
Formica.
Is that what it is? Yeah. Like Lowe's and Menards will have those. Like none of them I really liked. They weren't my style. A lot of them have that lip on them in the back.
Yeah.
Just really wasn't what I was wanting. And this is a good place to look for countertops. It's actually IKEA. They have cheap ones there. I mean, they're like not real. They probably have some real ones too, but they are more like, I think like a cork. I don't know what they're made out of, like some sort of wood. And they had like the one I have I really like, and they are not very expensive either. So that's just a good place to look for countertops if you're wanting cheap ones. They have a lot, I think, better options than just like the basic Formica ones at Lowe's.
My last one, well, this is another one that Keegan said this isn't really like, I don't know, it's kind of a tip, but he just said contentment, which is a little bit cheesy, but something to think about is that
I won't say anything else then.
This is kind of more of a closing one, but I'll just finish it. Is that like your house is probably somebody else's dream house. And so like just, I don't know, sometimes I am just so, I think because it was so hard for us to find a house.
Oh, yeah.
We just had such a saga finally getting to have a house that sometimes if I'm like feeling discontent, I'm just like, I am so thankful that I live in a house and that like I have a backyard. I don't want to say this in a way that's like, if you don't, whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm sure with whatever living situation you have, there's just something to be like so thankful for that someone else would love to have that situation. So just we're very blessed, especially if you live in the US you know, that we can even afford to have a house. And usually pretty nice shape ones too.
I had one more tip.
One more tip for making your worldly home a little bit better.
And this is a huge one. And I especially probably think this because I used to work at a greenhouse and would help people with landscape designs because I worked with like trees and shrubs and perennials and stuff. And that is landscaping your house. I can't like stress this enough. Landscaping makes such a huge difference to the way that your house looks. And I know that probably is not like, oh, so cost effective, but you also don't like have to landscape the whole house right away. Like we haven't completely did ours yet even. You just do like the front bed that you see right away. You can get little plants. You don't have to buy like the nice already big grown boxwood bush. Like you can get You can start out small.
Yeah, I have some small hydrangeas that are hopefully over the years.
Save up some money for landscaping. And I feel like that is just really, like, exterior wise, if you don't love, I hate to complain because I do really like our property and our house and stuff, but we just have a ranch style house, so it's okay, yeah, we don't have all these cute features and
all this
old characteristics on it, but really just starting by landscaping can really just add a really nice look to the outside. But anyway, definitely agree on the contentment thing. I think it can be easy to always be thinking that your house needs to look nice and it needs to match up to other people's houses, or so and so looks like they already have their house all put together and cute, and I feel like I'm still trying to figure out how to put mine together. Things take time, and yeah, just really being content with what you have right now.
And I also hope that you and we can be a realistic, we're not influencers, but a realistic influence of our houses. We do not live in these super expensive houses. I think on social media it seems even people your age sometimes wow, they immediately
such a nice house.
moved into this amazing and I'm sure I said I have been so blessed, and my house is probably nicer than some, and some people have a nicer house than me, but my house isn't perfectly put together. I'm still a work in progress with some of these things. Yeah. And it's just a journey. And, I mean, if you had it all figured out now, then.
It is so, honestly, I feel one of my hobbies is decorating my home. It is so fun just to do stuff to your home over the years, especially renovation projects are fun and satisfying, to get the results, but they're not necessarily that fun in the moment to do. But just decorating, adding little trinkets that you've thrifted here and there, that just brings me so much joy. Or pictures and hanging them here and there. It's just
which is
fun.
Why we want to try to keep it cheaper. And do it on a budget, so you're not constantly going to the latest store and getting these expensive items.
Yes, getting all the stuff to decorate an area right away.
Hopefully this could be a little bit of inspiration for you, especially as we have a new season. You might want to refresh your home a little bit. Also, I feel spring and summer is a popular time where people move. So maybe you're moving into a new space and you need a little inspiration, and just to know that it doesn't have to be perfect right away. No. Just make it.
Never has to be.
Make it your own. Make it cozy. Just make it homey and don't compare.
Keep it clutter free if you can.
Yeah.
My tip.
If you can.
Now, everyone has a bedroom or two that they don't use very much, and there's clutter in there. That's not what I'm talking about.
Just the main rooms.
Yeah, it's just your living spaces. Yeah.
But I also wonder if there's moms listening who have 4 kids and they're come back to me whenever you have 4 kids.
I know. I am aware that, it is hard to keep it like this now. But, it's definitely, I think, good to implement these habits now before.
Yeah. And it's kind of yes, that's true. Maybe it is going to be so hard. I was even thinking about that with my morning routine. I was I know once I have a kid, it's not going to be easy to have this little, la-di-da, then I go and do this and that. But it's but this is my season now. Yes. So, embracing this now. Right now, I have the opportunity to have this morning routine and to keep my house a little bit cleaner because I have that extra time. And I'm not saying, I hope that once I have kids, I can never ever have a morning routine again, or that everything goes out the window. But if I don't have those habits now, how am I going to do it whenever life gets more chaotic?
Definitely.
So anyways, that is it for our episode. Jayla and I are off to a local greenhouse, hopefully going to get some oh my word, my front door just blew open. It's really windy and I opened some windows. Anyways, hopefully going to get some cute flowers and plants to do a little refreshing in our own homes. Yeah. So thank you for watching and listening. Be sure to follow us on Instagram. We will have that link down below. If you are listening to this and you haven't rated us, it would mean a lot. So thank you for your support, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.